See if we can send out the signal. Smudgy, smudgy. Smudgy, smudgy. That's a lot of sounds. The fart noise and then something hitting the floor. What time is it where you are? What time is it where you are? It's almost 4 o'clock in the morning here. I'm curious to know. I'm glad to see the chat's working. I love it when the chat's working, actually. A? It's A? There we go. Let's light a candle. Let's light a pretty little candle. You don't want to reveal what time it is where you are. Where are you? Remember Screaming Baboon? Remember how he's doing? I remember how he's doing. Doing. D-O-I-N-G. Doing? I'm not quite sure I understand. I think I'm ready to go now. I'm usually asleep at this hour. But I know in Australia it's almost 6 o'clock. Why am I up so early? Because it's 6 o'clock. It's almost 6 o'clock in Australia, which is 1800 in Australia. In Ireland, it's like, oh, you're in California, and you're, wow, it's even earlier where you are. Because here it's 3 o'clock. So 3, 2, it's probably 1 o'clock in the morning where you are. 1 o'clock or midnight. You don't like chocolate? You don't like chocolate? Sometimes I like chocolate. Chocolate makes milk more happy. Chocolate makes milk happy. When I drink chocolate milk, I feel happy. Every time I close my eyes, I don't want to fall asleep 'cause I miss you, baby, and I don't want to miss a thing. I got that song stuck in my head. Every time I dream of you, I don't want to... There's a country version of that song. I wonder who wrote the song first. Who wrote that song first? I don't want to dream again. Well, I'm up. Hi. Hi, hi, hi. To write hi once. I guess I get more people at an early hour. It's 3:50 a.m. I would love to see your mom and meet her. You just did. You weren't here. You weren't here when I went out into the living room and saw that awkward look on her face. It's 12:50. No, it's 12:50. Okay, 12:50 where you are. 12:50 a.m. Because half of us are insomniacs and are in other countries. I see. So it's 12:50 and it's 3:51. Okay, yeah. Same for me. So we must be in the same time zone. Because here it is 3 o'clock in the morning. I am Summer Wah. Oh, in Washington. Okay. I think that's what Wah means. So I'm up. Hopefully my friends in Australia will chime in or tune in. And you're from Florida. Okay. Eastern Standard Time. That storm hit everybody, but not as hard. That was a big thing on the news, I guess. All over the internet, they were talking about Hurricane Helene. I mean, it's mostly flooding in most places. I know. My nephew lives in Florida. My nephew loves Florida. He's always been in Florida somewhere. He once ate a key lime pie in Key Lime, Florida. I guess just to say he could, or he did. So what should we talk about today? Now that we're all virtually on the same page. Yeah. So yeah, I'm in Georgia, which is pretty close. Wanna now, can you say hi to my sister Jenna? Hello, Jenna. I guess hi, Jenna. Hi, Jenna. Welcome to Eddie's Funhouse. I don't know. I wonder if that's going to be the new way that we communicate now. The new way is with acronyms. That caught on in the early 2000s. The LOL, the LMAO, the IDK. I think that's going to be our new way. The new way that we all talk to each other. KFC used to be Kentucky Fried Chicken. IHOP used to be International House of Pancakes. It seems like that's the truth. So we'll see how many people join in today. You got 2 people. That's what the register shows. That's what's on the monitor. So I guess the weather has improved over the... Yesterday was a pretty nice day, in spite of it all. In spite of it all. After all. I wonder who's waking up in Ireland today. Papa. That seems to be the word now. The word everybody loves and hates is Papa. And they all refer to me as Papa. Papa makes some people angry, and some people like saying Papa. I can't believe how angry people get when they hear the word, when they see Papa. It just blows me away. It blows me away. I call, yeah, why not? What's wrong with that? Papa. Some people say, you let kids call you Papa? And they just hulk out. It's a nice word. Yes, I believe so too. Papa. Hello, Papa. I think they all just have dirty minds. People have dirty minds. They need to quit it. Just quit it. Quit it with your dirty mind. Papa is such a harmless word. It's just a word. Some people get affected just by a word. Yeah, definitely, definitely. So you said you're in Florida, right? Florida, Florida. Yeah. Florida means flowers in Spanish. Florida. I guess there are lots of flowers in Florida. I wonder how many times. Oh, Los Angeles. There was a lot of Spanish names for America. Florida. What else was there? San Diego. Los Angeles means the angels or city of angels. Oh, I never knew that. Lots of gators. Yes. They find gators in their swimming pools when they're trying to play golf. I wonder how you ask an alligator, can I play through? I guess if they're not hungry, you can play through. That reminds me of, what was that movie I watched? Falling Down with Michael Douglas. There was a movie called Falling Down. Swamp puppies. Swamp puppies. That almost sounds like a word for swamp puppies. That makes me laugh a little bit. Swamp puppies. But this is a family show. I made this a family show so everyone can join. Everybody. One of these days I'm going to do an adult show. Not a lot of adults show up sometimes to my adult show. They always show up to my kids show, which is weird. When I do a kids show, that's when people want to be adult, which is kind of gives me a weird vibe. I don't know why in kids shows when I do a family show, people just suddenly want to act adult. I guess because they feel naughty. They feel naughty when they come on to a family show and they start cracking adult jokes and adult references, and maybe they're trying to connect to their kid, their inner kid. I think that's what it is. Like when people say poo poo and, you know, wiener and all that stuff, they say words that make that make you laugh. Some of those words make me laugh in a childish kind of way. That's what I should do. Just turn it into an adult show. If there are no kids, just say, okay, now this is an adult show. But then I can't change the settings until after. Hey, it doesn't matter because I'm letting people know. I'm telling people, okay, this is now an adult show. All the kids have to go away so that we can crack our adult jokes and then change the settings after the show. Because people ask me, is this the adult show? Hello and welcome. Just tell me your time zone. Where are you at? People who are just joining, where are you at? Hi, Annie. Hi, Annie. Welcome. I feel like wearing my top hat. I'm going to wear my top hat. People say it looks like a magician's hat. And you know what? Maybe there is some magic in this hat. GMT plus 4. Whatever does that mean? GMT. That sounds like a drug you take. No, that's DMT. A lot of people are trying DMT. They say they all experience the same thing. Hello! Ryan, I guess. It's probably, what, 9 o'clock over there? Ha ha ha, I thought of Magician Hat too. We're all on the same wavelength. Yes. And check out my link. I have a link in the description for Kingdom of Pets. If you have pets, they can help you with your pets. There's pet training and pet care. Anything to do with your animal. The animal you have in your house that loves you so much. That licks your face maybe. That snuggles up to you when you're watching television. Do I own? I'm getting over the loss of a pet. That's what's sad about it. Here I am promoting a pet website. And I had back in July, we had a family pet. His name was Shaggy. And yeah, he passed away in July of this year. And we still have, I have some videos of him. If you look at my videos, that little white doggy, that was our Shaggy. Our little white dog, who was our, we took him with us to the store. Yeah. Yes. A loss it was. Poor Shaggy. We took him to the groomer, and that's when he expired. I think they put him in the hot box. There's this, when they groom the dog, they put him in this oven to dry him up, dry him off, and he was an older dog, and I think that's what killed him. That's what killed him. My poor doggy. He was like 16 years old, so I hear that's pretty old for a dog. So that, I guess it's a cautionary tale. If it's an old dog, just don't put him in a hot box. Because he came out and he wasn't the same dog. He came in and he was full of life. Then, anyways, I'm having flashbacks. My poor doggy. We gave him a proper burial. And we have memories. That's why you should keep your YouTube videos. If ever you make a YouTube video, don't delete them if you can. Because it's like a picture album. Make sure you have all your family members. Okay, let's get happy again. Yes, we can. We can give him the best life. We loved each other. Always love your pet. He almost never pooped in the house. That's what I liked. Happy, happy, happy. That's right. Happy, happy, joy, joy. Wasn't that Ren and Stimpy? Happy, happy, joy, joy. And then there was peanut butter jelly time. I think that was Family Guy. Peanut butter jelly time. Sometimes we need peanut butter jelly time. I think a lot of people don't get enough peanut butter jelly time. Or happy, happy, joy, joy. If we focus on what makes us feel better, I think we'd all be better off, don't you think so? We'd all be better off. Take up a hobby. Do something like scrapbook keeping. Something that involves other people. Like if you're all into collecting Pokemon cards. Yeah, it does. It does. I think that's why we need comedy. We must have comedy. I like to have a list of comedians. A list of, like for me, it's Matt and Trey. Or the makers of South Park. Tim and Eric. I always watch them when I want to laugh. Pokemon, I know. That's something that a lot of people relate to. Pokemon or baseball cards or football cards. Some of those cards they're very they're collectible items, and they they can get you some money. Comic books, that's another thing people have in comic. They have in comic books. Some people are really big into comic books. The first Superman comic book is worth millions, if not 1 million. If not 1 million, it's worth millions. And the first comic book that certain characters appear in, those have a lot of value. I like watching Pawn Stars and Hardcore Pawn. American Pickers was pretty fun to watch. It would go across the country and see what people are holding on to. Hot Wheels, that's another thing. We used to trade off Hot Wheels. When I was a little boy, we had boxes full of Hot Wheels. Any kind of Matchbox, there's Matchbox and Hot Wheel, and some of them had like those funny cars. Yeah, they were stationed in Las Vegas. Sometimes celebrities would come in, sometimes people with the oddest items. They'd always have a guy who specialized in that item. They'd come in and say, yeah, this is a rifle. It was shot during the Civil War, or uh, this was a toy that people loved. Toys and guns, that seems like what a lot of people came in with. If it wasn't a toy, it was a gun. Or some kind of jewelry, weird jewelry. Or some people call it jewelry. They say jewelry instead of jewelry. What's cool is the origins of some of the jewelry that people find in flea markets and garage sales. People spend like $12 or $3 or $4 for a ring that they think is just costume jewelry, and they go to have it appraised, and they find out that it's much more. It's worth much more than that. Paintings. So yeah, hit the garage sales. If you got a storage shed somewhere, just go to garage sales, go to flea markets. People just want to get rid of stuff and they don't know. I think you should have things appraised before you sell. Before you sell anything. Find out how much it's really worth. That would suck, wouldn't it? You have a garage sale and you sell something to somebody for $12. They go and have it appraised. All that money is going to be theirs. They're not going to contact you and say, by the way, this item is worth $5 million. Yeah. What's another? What were those little? My memory doesn't serve me. Antiques Roadshow. My mom likes to watch that. The Antiques Roadshow. People come in with. It's amazing how much people know about certain items that are just floating around out there. Yeah. Welcome. Those of you who are just joining, check out my link. I have a link in the description for Kingdom of Pets, for pet training and pet care. And that's about it. Yes, Antique Roadshow. There's so many all over the world. Like there's things that were made in China, things that were made in Africa, and they all come in and somebody is an authority. Isn't that weird? How people know who made the item and how rare it is. What was another one that people love was restoration. You ever watch those restoration shows? People bring in a slot machine or they bring in some weird mailbox. And they bring it in to have it restored. That was another show. I can't remember the name of the show, but for $25 at a yard sale. I was just talking about that. Uh, Sold at auction. Yes, $500,000. And some of them are just odd items. You know, sometimes it's a centerpiece. Sometimes it's just a table you put your keys on when you come home. There's always some rare, obscure person who made tables out of wood, and they flip it over and they can see the date it was made or just the way it was made, and they get appraised. $500,000. You ever watch Morbid Facts? Morbid Facts. That guy with the handlebar mustache. I don't know if he still sports that thing, but somebody. Another one was an odd one was a meteor. A meteor came through a guy's ceiling and crashed in, and it was worth $1,000,000. Imagine that. You're sitting in your living room and a meteor comes through. I've only seen videos of paintings being restored. Yeah, those are painstakingly restored. I have some paintings I wonder how much they're worth. Some of them have the signature on them. I think that's what makes a painting authentic. You look at it and you can see the signature, or sometimes they hide the signature in the painting. Paintings and also sculptures. Sometimes sculptures. I used to watch art shows. I'd go to art shows in California, and it's amazing what imagination can do. Imagination. I was just watching that on YouTube. I was watching the Imagination Land. You ever watch that? South Park came up with that. Hello again. A little girl who has huge and big lives. The comments into the new one. I'm having trouble reading these huge paragraphs. I'm sorry if I don't read all this, but it's kind of like sometimes they paint over paintings and they then, yeah, they fetch a fortune. Paintings. I used to see paintings for hundreds of dollars. People would just they would there were oil paintings, and this guy had a delicatessen, and that's how people would display their paintings, and they would sell their paintings in this deli. I remember it was in Fair Oaks Village. This guy had a deli, and he would allow people to I guess he got a cut every time a painting sold. And the other one was a fan game. The other one, a little bit of money for me, but the other huge and big stuff for the rest in a couple days will probably not work on. Let's see. One painting actually made me angry. It was a painting, it was like a Picasso style painting, and it was of a guy on a bicycle. Every time I saw it, it made me angry for some reason. Maybe it was a cursed painting. They all been the restoration of a painting of Jesus. A woman from Spain or Brazil attempted to restore it, but she kind of ruined it. Yeah. I think that should be left to the professionals. They say any antique, don't do anything to it. If you got an antique, don't try to restore it, because it ruins the value. Sometimes if it has the original paint on it, it's kind of like, yeah, don't mess with it. If you get an antique, sometimes people buy it because it's kind of worn. Hey, at least the painting made you feel something. Yeah, even anger. That's how I used to judge actors. If an actor made me angry, I'd say that's a good actor. He's really committing to his character because he made me angry. And then there's some characters that I look forward to. The way they play their characters. Sometimes it's just the person in the movie, and it makes you wonder how much is it the character and how much of that person is just them being them. Because they say a lot of movie scenes were ad-libbed. People just say it when they're directing, or they leave parts in the movie because of how well it went. I keep thinking of that Leonardo DiCaprio scene in what was that movie? It was Django Unchained, when he smears blood on that girl's face. He was actually cut, and they left it in the scene. The other one was like the Robert De Niro Taxi Driver. Are you looking at me? Also, when Corleone, The Godfather, who was that guy? Marlon Brando. Marlon Brando found a stray cat and started petting the stray cat, and they left that scene in there. So yeah, it must have. That's what Johnny Depp said. He says, "I'm just a really good faker." Yeah, he did. And he was trying to hide the fact that he was in a lot of pain. You could tell. And he was just committed to the character. I guess that's method acting. Some people don't like method actors. And, oh, there was a scene where a guy got stabbed in the chest. They forgot to switch out the prop knife, and he stuck the real knife in the guy's chest. I forget which movie. The guy was wearing a striped shirt, and the guy picked up a knife and stabbed the guy in the chest, and they forgot to switch out the prop knife. I wish I could remember which movie that was. So yeah, a lot goes into making movies just so we can sit and eat popcorn. Yeah, amazing. And the guy didn't flinch either. I guess a lot of people don't know they're stabbed until they've been stabbed. Tim Heidecker, he was stabbed by a crazy guy. He was telling the story. He just heard a scream, and then people think they're being punched when they're actually being stabbed. Morbid facts. People think they're being punched when they're actually being stabbed. That's pretty traumatic. It's like, hey, what's that I'm feeling? In my back, in my ribs. Yeah, oh no, good God. They were doing a thing on Reddit, is it worse to be stabbed or shot? And a lot of people, I think, said it was worse to be stabbed. Well, actually, medically speaking, it's worse to be stabbed. Because bullets don't make a lot of, they don't do a lot of damage, but a stab does a lot of damage. Oh, The Crow, yes. That's how, was that also an Alec Baldwin movie was being made, and was shot. Somebody was shot for real. Yeah, that's how Brandon Lee got killed. Was he? There was somebody. I guess what they do is they interchange. Yeah. Some people say it was planned. Possibly. Sometimes, yeah, it makes me wonder about curses and things like that. I hear a lot about curses. Sometimes they can be lifted. Sometimes they're just because you get somebody upset. You can get some. I heard one about Michael Jackson cursed Steven Spielberg. Michael Jackson wanted to be Peter Pan, and Steven Spielberg wanted Hook to be a comedy and not a musical. So he hired Robin Williams instead of Michael Jackson. And Michael Jackson paid somebody to curse him. It's like, wow. That's weird how all you can do is make a decision and somebody will be upset with you. That's why I like just a lot of prayer. A lot of prayer can sometimes turn things around. But then again, you try to be friendly with everybody. You try to be friendly and kind and courteous, and people still get pissed off. That's why you need protection. That's another link I can share with you. There's this lady that does curse removal. I think after this, I will put that link. I'll put that link in the description. Curse removal can really help. Yeah, no weapon formed against you. And there's so many weapons that are formed against us by evil, by the selfishness and tyranny of evil men. The path of a righteous man is beset on all sides by the selfishness and tyranny of evil men. Yeah, I wish I could remember that whole thing. But it's true. Sometimes we do have to just be ever vigilant. Continue to pray. Continue to live right. There's a reason why they call it this, the breastplate of righteousness. Curses only. They do. They backfire. Yes. The universe doesn't seem to like that. When you direct negativity at someone, negativity only breeds more negativity. It is just a volley of bad feelings, bad juju. Sometimes sprinkling salt. There's all these methods people use of getting rid of negative energy. Some people wear charms. There's times when I've worn black tourmaline. Black tourmaline is supposed to be a really good negativity collector, I guess. It pulls away all the negativity. Tiger's eye. All these crystals that people wear. Turquoise. I like wearing turquoise sometimes. It's amazing how long people have been doing that. How long people wear charms and say prayers. Yeah, tiger eye. Tiger's eye. I have a ring that has tiger eye in it. It's kind of easy to get. If you go to metaphysical stores, you can get it online. Yeah, eBay. You can buy all kinds of stuff like that on eBay. It's been a while since I've shopped on eBay. I need to go back. Well, I guess we're having some pretty interesting conversations here. The Antiques Roadshow, American Pickers. They were looking for these, Knuckleheads. Knuckleheads was a motorcycle that was sought after. I guess they stopped making Knucklehead. Knucklehead in Indian was another brand of motorcycle. Yeah, smaller businesses. That's how a lot of people do their businesses on eBay. eBay and Amazon. A lot of people go to Amazon to buy their goods. Wow, it's almost been an hour. What time is it now? Let me see. It's 4:25. Somebody left me a message. Let me see what that message reads. Oh, that's not a message. That's not a message. Sometimes when people upload videos, I get alerts. So-and-so just uploaded a video. So you're in Florida. Everybody else just came in to say hi, I guess. So it's you can run off notifications if it bothers you. No, I can turn off. Yeah, turn off the No, it doesn't bother me. Sometimes I like getting notifications, but not during my lives. This is our time, Mr. Spicoli. If I'm here and you're here, doesn't that make it our time? That's a good movie, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. That came out when I was in high school, even earlier than high school. That was funny to watch. One of Sean Penn's first movies, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I wonder how many people have seen that movie. Because the new generation was after 2000. Oh, you never seen it, to be honest? Yeah. You can see it on YouTube. There's so many movies that are available on YouTube. You can either buy or rent. It's easier to rent sometimes. I think it only costs $3 or $4. There were a lot of good movies out there. I should do some movie recommendations. I recommend Gremlins. Goonies seems to be one that went over really well. Well was The Goonies. One of my teachers, her husband, worked on the movie set, or the set of Goonies. He was one of the guys who maintained the cameras. They were called Best Boys. Gremlins and the Goonies. Yeah, isn't that fun to watch those? Yeah. I guess I got bragging rights. Yeah. My English teacher would talk about that. Miss Tansy was my English teacher. She said, yeah, my husband worked on the set of Goonies. How do you like those apples? No, she was she was an interesting teacher, Miss Tansy. That was way back in the 80s, in the 1980s, before there was the internet. What was another good movie? I like watching the Sinbad movies. The Eye of the Eye of the Tiger. Jason and the Argonauts is another one. 80s and 90s movies were always, yeah, they didn't have CGI. They used stop motion. You can always tell a stop motion. There a lot went in. Ray Harryhausen. Yeah, Ray Harryhausen was the guy who did Clash of the Titans, the first one, not that remake. That was a pretty good movie to watch. He put a lot of work into that Medusa character. That when the eyes lit up and the snakes for hair. Give us back the eye! There was a lot of movies that were always played on HBO. HBO was the first movie channel to come out. I remember that way back in the 70s. HBO, you're watching HBO. Trading Places was one they played a lot. So you're into movies also. I like movies. I used to have a shoebox where I'd keep all my movie tickets. I would always every time I finished watching a movie, the tickets would go into the shoebox. Never Ending Story, yeah. Page Master. The Dark Crystal, yep. That's in my playlist. My Eddie's movie playlist. Eddie's movie playlist was, I have The Dark Crystal. And I also have Gremlins 1 and 2 in there. I think you could pull that up. Eddie's movie playlist. I have a long list of movies that you can watch for free. Dark. Yeah, Dark Crystal. That could throw you into depression, watching The Dark Crystal. It was very sad. There was a lot of death and loss. The Skeksis. It's a Goufling. Yeah. Smells like a Goufling. I'm going to have to make it easy to get to. Oh yeah, you can go to my playlist. That's right. Go to my channel. Right next to community, I think, is playlists. You can look at Eddie's movie playlist. I have a lot of cool stuff. Their voices were amazing. Yeah. The Skeksis. Where the Skeksis rule. That was funny when they had that competition. They all had to swing a sword at this stone. The one who broke the stone became the Emperor. I remember watching that movie at the drive-in. The Dark Crystal. I remember carrying a crystal with me to school, acting like it was the Dark Crystal. It's amazing what your imagination does. We could all go to Imagination Land. I wish I had that movie that I could show people. Imagination. You can see what's really real, if it's real. I wish they had drive-ins. Wouldn't that be nice? I remember going to drive-ins in California. There was one that I drove a long distance to. It was on Bradshaw. It's called Bradshaw Road. You watch 2 movies. I think you pay $7 and you can watch 2 movies. It's the ones where you walk in. Those indoor theaters. Those ones, they cost like $14 to watch one movie. Oh, those were the days. You just wait until it was dark. You park first at twilight, and then as soon as it got dark enough, that's when the movie would start. Yeah, I know. You get to see, if you could stay up that late. That's where they came up with that song, Wake Up Little Susie, Wake Up a Little Susie. What are you gonna tell her friends when they say, ooh la la, wake up little Susie? The movie's over, it's 4 o'clock and we're in trouble deep. Wake up little Susie. That kind of inspires my imagination. Yeah, you could fall asleep watching the movie and it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. Oh my God. What's going to happen now? We got to explain to our parents why we're out so late. They didn't have cell phones back in the 50s. Imagine trying to get in contact with somebody and there's no cell phone. They just had that phone on the wall or the phone that sat on the countertop. I know. That's why I think people get Netflix. They get There used to be Blockbuster. Blockbuster was fun to go to. Like on a Friday night, you had a little extra money, go to Blockbuster, pick out. You could either buy or rent. I remember buying some movies, quite a few movies. I had an insane collection of movies. DVDs made it easier to collect because you could stack so many DVDs on one shelf. And then Blockbuster went away, and it's like, there's no fun anymore. Blockbuster, slowly watching all of them close. I know. So many good things. So many things that brought joy. Blockbusters. And then there was a place called Dimple Records. In California, they had Dimple Records. Before that, it was called Tower Records. And then they changed it to Dimple. Dimple, you could bring in your DVDs and they would buy them from you. They would buy the DVDs from you and then mark them up. I used to spend hours walking around in a Dimple Records trying to find the DVD I was looking for. And if you couldn't find it, they would order it for you. So it was like it was a win-win situation. Yeah, we could order it for you. I was trying to find all the Lloyd Kaufman movies, like Kabuki Man and Toxic Avenger. Lloyd Kaufman was an independent filmmaker based in New York, and he did a movie called Poultrygeist. His movies are kind of, they're very interesting and morbid at the same time. What was the other ones? There was like, uh, looking up all the Sam Raimi movies. I think there's one Blockbuster that's still open. They did a documentary about that. Blockbuster. At Target, I think you could still buy Blockbuster t-shirts. They don't have that anymore, and I wonder how many people still know about stores like that. Have you ever watched the evolution of McDonald's? What Ronald McDonald used to look like? It was scary. You should. I think I have that. I'll have to post another video. The Hamburger Happy Clown. That's what they called him. Ronald McDonald, the Hamburger Happy Clown. He was a really weird looking clown that could just make hamburgers appear. The Burger King. They did away with the Burger King. I remember when I was a kid, the Burger King. He was a literal king, and he would twist his ring, and whenever he twisted his ring, everyone would appear at Burger King. Terrifying. I know. Hey, that's nightmare fuel. Ronald McDonald, the Hamburger Happy Clown. And he would just, burgers would appear in front of him. Burger King is, I know, there's Burger King and Dairy Queen. Burger King. There's a special Dairy Queen that's not too far from where I live. They play the 50s and 60s music from they'll play those like trying to remember what songs. They always catch me by surprise that those, I forget some songs even exist because I haven't heard them so long. I think it's time for me to go back to bed. It's 4 o'clock in the morning here. Yeah, I should do an Insomniac show just to keep people happy. The Insomniac show. Eddie's Funhouse has an Insomniac show where he talks about his the good old days. The good old days when you could pull into a drive-in. If you're a little kid at the drive-in, they would always have a playground. You could go play at the playground until the movie starts. And they had the little snack bar. Yeah. Another masterpiece. Let's talk about masterpieces. One of them that they should have never made it. Hocus Pocus. It's coming around that time of year where I watch Hocus Pocus. That was a masterpiece. They shouldn't have made a sequel to it. They should have said, okay, that happened. Beetlejuice was another one. I haven't seen the sequel to Beetlejuice. There's so many movies that just, they should have made it and go, okay, that happened. That was a good movie. I think what they want to do is they want to cash in again. It's like trying to redeem the same coupon. Yes, we should always stay positive. That was, yeah, they're running out of movies. I know. It's like, okay, we're going to make, and then they're going for the cartoons. South Park, The Simpsons, a lot of them. They're trying to make them into live action. Aladdin. It's like they were masterpieces. Little Mermaid. Masterpieces. Leave them alone. They should pass a law. You can't remake movies anymore. It's time to start being creative. People forgot how to be creative. They forgot their imaginations. Imagination imagination. We all need to go to Imagination Land. Think up new movies. And you know what? They say that reality is stranger than fiction. They should make more movies based on real events. Movies based on real events. I think that will help us out because there's some crazy things that happen. Serendipity, luck, good fortune that befalls people. My mom is all the original VHS. Yes, all of them. Lion King, Peter Pan, Snow White. They're trying to remake Snow White. Why don't they just re-release it? Re-release the original Snow White that was made back in the 30s. And Bambi. Bambi, I think, is short for Bambino. I think that's Italian for baby. Bambino. Bambi. Watch that movie. They need to re-release instead of trying to remake movies. Just re-release them. Again, masterpieces. People will line up around the corner. That's how they got the term blockbuster. Blockbuster means people would line up around the corner. They would bust the block. Yeah. You'll learn a lot here at Eddie's Funhouse. Bambino, that's right, Bambino. Dennis Miller used that term a lot. If you ever listen to the Dennis Miller show, he would refer to babies as a bambino. Well, I guess we'll do this again. We're virtually in the same time zone, so be sure to hit that bell. We'll talk about the Antiques Roadshow, maybe. We'll talk about ghosts. I like talking about ghosts, hauntings, people who, bridges that are haunted. All right, cool. Well, that's neat. We found each other. We finally found each other. We're up at weird hours of the night. Faux show. All right. I will see you the next time. Hit that bell. A lot of people don't do that. They subscribe and they don't hit the bell. The bell is supposed to let them know when something new happens. There's always something new at Eddie's Funhouse. All right. Good night and God bless.